Well, a very good afternoon to you, and of course to our SABC News viewers. We just were briefed by the leadership of Rise Mzansi earlier, and of course briefing the media on a number of developments, those in the GNU, those in the Gauteng Provincial Unity, of which they are part of, the recent national convention that took place this past weekend. And as members of the media, ever since that ANC-NEC resolution came out, that the ANC was actually seeking to expand the GNU, Mr. Songezo Zibi just clarified members of the media that as Rise Mzansi, they are not opposed to the expansion of the GNU, but would rather have the GNU be more effective, be more efficient, and they actually want, as a party, the GNU to be strengthened. Also emphasizing the number of meetings that they've had since this GNU was actually established, the fact that the Clearinghouse Committee had not yet adopted its terms, of reference, also highlighting that they still need to have a number of meetings. Remember, the only meeting that they actually had as GNU partners was after the issue of the Bella Act. And of course, they still need to discuss outstanding matters like the impasse over the budget that we actually saw earlier on this year. So just really emphasizing that no, as Rise Mzansi, they're not opposed to the expansion of the GNU, but of course, they need to strengthen it as GNU partners. Moving on to other matters, I did ask if they felt, or I asked them rather, to respond to the criticism of the National Convention, how people had actually said that it was a waste of time and money, and he had said that not at all. This is, an opportunity where South Africans could actually come and ventilate their issues, where South Africans could actually come and, chart a way forward in terms of the country that they actually want to see moving forward. As you know, that the NDP actually ends in 2030, and now coming out of the National Convention and in essentially the national dialogue, there needs to be a new social compact where South Africans must actually have a final say in that. I also asked about the reports of the merger. You would understand, if I could take your viewers back to what actually happened earlier on when we saw that meeting between Action SA, BOSA and Rise Mzansi, talks of a merger between the three parties before or in next year's local government elections. And he had said that, listen, they are continuing to engage all parties and no final agreement has actually been made. But of course, also just, talking to us about their preparations ahead of the 2026 local government elections, what lessons they've learned from last year's elections and what they could do better as a political party, at next year's polls. And finally, one of the issues that also stood out was Mr. Zibi calling for the head of the SANDF chiefs, Rudzani Mapanya, saying that he actually undermined the interests of South Africa when he made those comments in Iran, calling for accountability and calling for Minister Njimutseha as well, saying that she was actually spineless. So these are just some of the issues that came out of this briefing this earlier on, I beg your pardon, in Rosebank. As for me, Natasha Phiri and Tulo Manara, it's back to you in studio.